Hey guys, welcome to the Degenerate Nation podcast with starring Patrice. We are going to discuss something that's very near and dear to everyone's hearts and very interesting: women's sports. That was not the sound of Patrick hanging himself. What's up? What do you know about this blood feud between Draymond Green and is it Rapinoe or Rapinoe?
Sorry, let me just catch my breath. It takes a while to get a belt unhooked from the tightest possible rung on the belt after it's around your neck. So back to the sports news.
Yes.
So Draymond Green, professional basketball player, notorious cheap shotter.
You don't like him. I like him. You don't like him. I like him because he went to Michigan State. I can't comment on how I'd feel about him if he went somewhere else, to be honest. So maybe that's telling. I don't know.
Well, that's fair.
But I like that he speaks his mind, even when he sounds like a mushmouth sometimes.
And I do admire him for that. Sometimes he doesn't know when to not say something.
Right.
But regardless of what it is he's saying, it's authentic. He's not polishing it up. It's what he thinks.
He's not LeBroning it, right? He didn't get it from some news, filtered through social media and through the media and regurgitated opinions that didn't originate with him.
It's not a teleprompter that just directly reads straight Chinese from the Chinese Communist Party, and mid-translation, it translates it over to English. And
exactly.
One of these times, LeBron's going to be reading an answer, and he's going to
speak in Mandarin.
Yeah, and it's going to be like, oh, wait, we didn't think that'd be a problem. How does he speak Mandarin? And he's like, bing, ding, hang, ho, bang, da, home.
Oh, no, I knew you were going to do that.
We really have to watch out for them in the fourth quarter. You know, we're here to win a championship. I'm really glad to bring it back to Cleveland. Bing, da, hang, da, hey, shambaha. And shout out to Cleveland. And Chinese Communist Party. Yeah.
Yeah, get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Space Jam 2, big in China, like me. Horrible oppression. Fuck China.
Yeah, that was a really bad bit. But
we'll power through it.
Draymond Green speaks his mind. What he said recently, I found to be very interesting in a couple different ways. So apparently, Draymond Green came out and decided to speak on the topic of equal pay between male and female athletes, which in general is I don't know, it's a two-sided debate. I don't really think.
Yeah, one side's completely right and the other's completely wrong.
Yeah.
So it is two-sided. All debates are two-sided.
Well, I mean, that's what both sides think. But what Draymond Green actually
empirically
said,
and objectively, we'll get into that though. Yes, go ahead, sir.
This is the quote that I found to be the better representation of the argument at hand. So he said, and I quote, "So it's coming off as a complaint because the people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. The revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay." They are going to keep using that. But the reality is, as true as that is, it's an excuse. I'm really tired of seeing them complain about the lack of pay because they're doing themselves a disservice by just complaining. They are. They're not laying out steps that they can take to change that. Draymond Green straight up saying, y'all need to shut the fuck up about non-equal pay.
Right. He should have just stopped there. But, he kind of, gets the thing, you're not doing anything is not actually true. They are winning at a high level. I mean, this is before I completely take the other side of the argument, which I'm going to, and very well. I'll side with the women in a preliminary way. I'll side with the women in this case, in that a lot of them are doing a lot because they are doing exceedingly well at the level of competition that they play at, granted.
The highest level.
The highest level of competition that they're eligible to play at, they're doing well on a world scale, a global scale, right? And they're not getting in trouble. They're not squirting on masseurs or anything like that, or doing anything untoward.
They're not supporting any bad organizations. They're not vocal about the wrong topics. They do, for the most part.
Yeah, they do what they're supposed to do.
As a professional team.
They did take more money up front for the safety of it and stuff, instead of trying to get more bonus money and stuff. And so they are kind of like complaining about something that they already signed off on themselves.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into why she's mostly wrong and he's mostly right. But that point that she's not doing anything or they're not doing anything, I think is inaccurate. Yeah, and that makes the whole it sinks the whole Titanic, the whole argument, the Lusitania, if you will.
Completely agree. That's what that was. That's the last missile or bomb that destroyed Pearl Harbor. You were that close to pulling out and being like, without an accent, false attack, pull back the troops.
Yeah.
Even though I really wanted to do an accent.
I know. We're weaning you. We're weaning you one per show. one offensive accent per show.
But the one
in 2021.
Good enough. Give me a good one. Come on.
No, they have to be European. They're gonna have to be European. You can't do it.
All right, fine.
I was telling someone. I was telling our medical source. So like, Patrice is so earnest with his accents and so off. It's so cute.
But back to the point at hand.
Yeah.
Him adding that last piece, like, why even make the argument in the first place? People, that's going to be the basis of their of their retort to what you said.
He's poisoning the well for good-intentioned people that are like, yo, no one cares about your sport or your plight. And there's a lot of other plights in the world that no one also cares about, because guess what? They don't generate eyes. They don't generate dollars. And that's plain and simple demand. And you can't change that because we live in a supply and demand type of market structure. And we always have since we became a real country. And that is going to be the case until we dismantle with, stupid politics or whatever, and just not be a free market economy anymore. And,
No, that's the reality of the world. Until Bill Clinton and presidents like him can continue, until the point comes that they cannot continue to grope women in office and get away with it, nothing's going to change.
Yeah, it's all Bill Clinton's fault that they're not making enough money. He's like, doesn't he look like he everything? Have you seen him recently? Like, doesn't Bill Clinton
look like malnourished?
Yeah, doesn't it look like he's fading away except his desire to grope women? Like everything else.
It's like the one thing that remains.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's right. I'm here because I want to grope him.
He's gonna be in his deathbed. He's gonna be like.
He's gonna have his hands out like this, in front of like trying to grab somebody's breast, like ghost breast, while he dies.
He's trying to say something, ma'am. He's on his deathbed.
The damn nurse. He gets the hospice. He's groping the hospice nurse on his way out.
That's just breath leaving his air. No, what is he trying to say? I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then like it's gonna be the EKG, and it's like beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's something in him that's holding on. What could it be?
He's gonna be older than Jimmy Carter just because he's a fucking pervert.
Yeah, and it's
not Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter's a great dude. Shitty president, great dude.
Jimmy Carter's a great dude.
Great dude. Doesn't do that. Gets it on with Rosalind the best of his abilities. Builds house. He's hitting that because he can build. If you can swing a fucking pickaxe or whatever at 96, you can. You know what?
Yeah, you can move one part of your body with all your energy for like 5 minutes.
Ointment in the dust, man.
Yeah, it's just dust in the wind.
All we are is dust in the wind. Did I tell you that played after I got fired from a job? So, what? Okay, you played soccer. you play soccer and you played it at a higher level than most people will play it. Is men's soccer is a drop off in quality of play on your average higher level men's soccer game so much, or the drop off between men's and women's as big as it is in basketball?
I would say it's maybe not quite as big as men's basketball, but it's noticeable.
Okay, yeah, because it does involve loose twitch muscle to a degree. I mean, you quickness and crispness of pinpoint passing and being able to shoot on a target while moving a ball and like being able to save a ball that and guess where it's going and be athletic enough to move it out of the way like you have to do. You're a taller guy and you're athletic and it's still hard to save that ball on a good shot, right, with movement, right?
Soccer's interesting now. The reason I was trying to interject, and I'm sorry,
it's okay, man. It's okay, man.
Goalie is one of those positions that there's huge disparities between the men and the women's game. But other positions, specifically in the midfield and strikers, the technical skills and the mental side of it, like awareness and how to position your body, technique, and finishing, shooting, all of those same traits are the same. The only difference is power.
Isn't it like how to position your much more adept body, though? Like that your body that's 6'3" instead of 5'5"? I mean...
Wait, in what position?
In any position. Like, not maybe any position, but striker? Like, that strikes me as something that might be inaccurate, that they might be in the right position, but, I mean, they're smaller than I am. They're also half the age as I am, or almost, but...
Strikers don't necessarily have to be big. Strikers, all you have to do is go and get goals. However, does it help you to be bigger and
that's why B was...
Yes, correct. That's why B never played any competitive.
No, he's had power.
Maybe power in the house.
Power. Yeah. So, I don't know. I you're right, like, skill matters more than the strength of the kick, you know.
So, on that same topic.
Yeah.
We just described the playing fields and how the games operate.
Yeah, same field, same techniques, mostly, right?
Great. Who is at the men's game? A lot of people, right? A lot of people.
Depends on the in professional games, yeah, but it took a long time for it to catch on more. And that's impressive because
not just
MLS is a fourth-rate, maybe third-rate league globally, right?
Oh,
it gets better.
Okay.
It gets better, right? But if like, I mean, let's be honest, if soccer is the fourth most popular sport to play and the fifth most popular to watch in America, like that's just not going to result in women being able to make a lot of money at it. It's just not, because this is men's soccer versus women's soccer. Like, they're
that's just like anything else in the USA. If women are if that's what's happening in the U.S., you can guarantee within that system, if it's divided to a man and women's system, women are going to be getting the bottom end of whatever's trickling down.
Yeah, because, all right, you know what? Blame women for not watching women do things at a high level. It's their fault. They do not want to watch this stuff. So why is it repeatedly being brought up as a social ill instead of a problem that women would rather watch murder shows and listen to murder podcasts and watch
Lifetime,
Real Housewives of Little Rock and things like that? I mean, Lifetime. You got to mix that. That stuff can be good, but it's just like
the Real Housewives of Little Rock. Now that's an iteration I don't think they've done.
They will, but they'd rather watch these things. All right, look how many you've used dating apps, right? How often do they mention their interest of murder or something like that? Like, Real Housewives or like trash TV, or they'll even say it's trash TV. Versus, I like watching the WNBA. I've not seen one single human woman in my years of acting on my loneliness and other impulses that has said I like watching women's basketball, women's soccer, women's sports. These are women. These are women that do not support these women's sports, and god damn it, men are never going to be that interested on a sustainable level where they're doing fantasy women's basketball. I mean, they might. I'll throw money into a pool, but
believe you or not, that is a thing.
Yeah,
I would start a bracket.
Gambling is the only chance. It is the only chance because women are not going to turn around and suddenly watch it unless there's maybe. I talked about this with somebody earlier. Like maybe if there was a female-owned streaming service, like I'm looking at you, Bumble CEO. Start a streaming service, start another app that's like really a streaming service, and get rights to the women's soccer league. And put it on with other stuff, like things that women already like, get them to, obviously you need, if you just start it with the women's soccer and women's, well, ESPN apps have women's WNBA, but I'm sure they'd fucking sell that. They'd sell that in a fucking heartbeat.
They should have an ESPNW.
They already do.
And it should be a woman. Okay, well then they should make something better with it. This is what they should be doing. For Bumble to try and come in and corner the female soccer market.
No, they should. Not Bumble itself, but like the CEO. She's a fucking billionaire. You know how many female billionaires are there? Not very many. And one of them is the ex-wife of fucking Jeff Bezos, so that doesn't really count.
Hey, that does count.
No, I mean, Obama famously had that phrase, "You didn't build that."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but you deserve us to be taken care of if you were part of an empire that developed while the person was with you. Because I'm sure you contributed ideas at times, and I'm not sure exactly what else she did, but I mean, yeah. But $50 billion? No. I'm sorry, no. The half thing is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's fucking ludicrous.
We can get into alimony and how the divorce system.
Oh, that's a whole nother episode. We're priming the pump for that. But do you think that a female focused app or a streaming service that has a mix of things that women have already responded well to, which is like those type of shows or maybe reruns of like a Grey's Anatomy or the equivalent of a Grey's Anatomy, a lesser Grey's Anatomy that ABC doesn't already own and Disney Plus doesn't already own.
But
then bring in the sports and be like, look at like a grand experiment, if you will. Do you think it would work? Because Lifetime worked. And Hallmark has worked like gangbusters. They have like 3 Hallmark channels now. I mean, they put out the same type of crap all the time. Some of it's fine. Some of it's quite good. But some of it's total crap. And they eat it up. They fucking love it. They love it. They love it. They love it.
I do think it would work. Yes. I think it would work. I think it would work tremendously. However,
yeah,
I don't like that's a big demographic you're targeting. So,
all women, some women, any woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, to do any woman, like, there's a lot that goes into just do any women.
Yeah.
But no, narrow down the target audience maybe a little bit, like 10 to 15, and we just show. Okay, bad idea. Target, a wider.
Okay, man, you tell me something there.
So we can bring in.
Wait a minute.
Wider audience.
You just need any audience on those fucking games and these sports because, dude, men watch women's gymnastics, volleyball, ice skating stuff sometimes with their significant others.
I watch
families, parents, whatever.
I will watch women's volleyball.
Yeah,
that can stay on the men's side.
Yeah. No, that would have to go on the women's because you get some men that would watch it. Yeah, obviously.
And here's what they could do: they could first step, they could try to establish themselves as a right in the mix in or where channels typically fall, were like HGTV, Food Channel.
Yeah, no, not a channel, a streaming service.
No, channel first.
No. What year is this?
Side,
what year? Brick and mortar? You want brick and mortar?
I want them to.
No, I want women watching sweet headers against China when they're taking a shit, watching on their tablets and their phones.
I want a simultaneous.
Because women do poop, but they don't watch women's sports.
I want a simultaneous distribution of an online streaming service and a brick and mortar type establishment.
No.
Where it's like Blockbuster, but it's only women's shit. And you can sell dildos instead of candy, and you can sell.
What are you talking
can
about?
offer a.
You have to go into the store to watch the sports. They have a lounge. It's a women's lounge. It's a women's lounge where you can buy dildos or watch women's sports.
Yeah, you can offer like flower scented hookah, and you can have a candles section.
What's it called?
It would be called. It could be a combination of like Yankee Candle and like Anal or Us.
Anal or Us? Oh God. Oh God. Anal candle. Down to the wick, Barracuda. So do you think I'm off base to like blame that women should be, these female athletes and stuff, entertainers should be blaming women instead of blaming men?
No, I think that I think there's.
I think it's not popular, but
I don't think that's ludicrous, and I don't think some of the blame. I think that yes, some of the blame.
Nearly all of it. Why? Well, you can't force people to like something. Guess what? There's been exposure. It's on TV. You can find it. The women's tournament is on every year. WNBA is on every fucking year. And
correct. However, are they getting the same listings and like time? Like
they're on ESPN. It's in the summer. The fucking summer. There's nothing else on.
They are, but they like secretly put it in the ESPN time slot where the thing above it is like fly fishing tournament. The thing below it's a Hallmark movie, and the thing right before it was World of Bowling.
What are they supposed to do? It's the summer. Look up the schedule. I'm gonna look it up. You're not. You're drinking your aspartame. You look it up. You're the stat boy. You're a stat gunk boy.
I'm a stat wizard.
You look up WNBA schedule.
It says stats. I'm gonna look up stats that solidify my argument.
Only and against his argument.
Andy is gay.
Yes.
It looks like there aren't any great matches for your search. However, try using the words that might make it appear on the page you're looking for. Example, Andy's a raging bitch. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. No, look it up. It's the summer. It's the summer through the early fall. They intentionally make it not... They make it so fucking available, schedule-wise, when there's no other sports besides baseball.
Of course they do.
And they still don't watch missed layups and
no one wants to watch that.
Below the rim jump shots and no
one's gonna want to watch it.
It's soccer and volleyball are the hopes, because soccer you don't have to have that much more of an audience than you already do to be a mild success. It just has to be a streaming service that's not a fucking thing that's supported by ad dollars. It's gotta be subscription based.
If you can dress up a turd, you can put whipped cream on. You can put whipped cream on it. You can disguise it. You can make it look like an ice cream sundae. At the center of it, it is still shit. I don't care what. And I'm gonna sound really bigoted, but I'm just saying what the majority of people think.
Yeah.
Regardless of what time frame you put a soccer programming on, regardless of how many fans you attempt to draw in, which that's going to be hard in and of itself.
Yeah. It's hard in men's soccer, and this is women's soccer.
But it's a little bit easier in men's soccer. If you think you're going to be able to retain the same viewers to men's soccer as you do in women's soccer, you're not going to.
No.
The main differences between men's soccer and women's soccer, those differences are intrinsic to why people watch men's soccer.
Yeah.
If you're missing those, no one's going to watch
because they think they're watching the best of the best. And and they're watching MLS, they're already suspending disbelief because they're not the best of the best. So they watch Premier League and other leagues that are perceived to be better. Yeah.
Yes, it's not best of the best isn't the only like draw in to watch it. It's like the style of play, the speed of play, the atmosphere, all of those things are getting better in the MLS. The things that lack in the women's game is speed of play is huge. So some people get boring watching like regular men's soccer, top tier division. Sometimes the games get slow and they get boring. Women's games are like that the whole time.
Yeah.
The physicality is so much less. The goalkeepers, there's no excitement on shots on goal and stuff because the goalkeepers are shorter. They have no chance. They have no athletic ability. In the few teams that do really well in women's soccer, they do really well and they win and they should get recognition for winning. But the teams that they're going up against are so inferior.
Yeah, and the one goalie that had this athleticism beat up her partner. Like, beat him up.
It's because she had too much testosterone. She's borderline a man.
Yeah.
And that sounds really bigoted, but it's like, there was another really good, a couple of the best female soccer players probably of the 21st century. Are we in the 21st century?
Yeah, well, I am. I don't know what century you are with some of the things that you say.
Two of them, Hope Solo and Marta. Marta's a Brazilian player, probably one of the best.
Oh, yeah, I've seen her. Ever. Yeah.
Her and Hope Solo, they are both like athletic freaks. One's a goalkeeper, one's huge. The other one's incredibly fast, muscular.
Yeah.
And some people say she looks like a man. It's because they have like a biological advantage because they have too much. They have like an overload of testosterone for a female body.
Like we're better with kids than some guys are. I think guys are fine with kids, but we're better because we have like more sensitive. Estrogen? Maybe we have more estrogen. I don't know.
And that's
my breast would explain that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but there's a stigma attached to those things. But it's like that's
that's where we're at something because there's the stigma is there regardless of the demand is not there for their sport, but the stigma is still there. And how do you change that? I think you have to give them different metrics, right?
Exactly. It's hard. So I agree. We've reached a really good point. It's the stigma over like the reality, and it's which you're gonna have to come to some sort of compromise. And an option, I don't know if it would catch on, and I don't know if I believe in it, but would be like, yeah, maybe we hear them out a little bit on the compensation side of it. They shouldn't make equal because
demand. You know, like in the 40s, the 50s, people had second jobs or third jobs in the NFL, and they didn't make any money. They had it. They said that they were trailblazers, if you will, for the eras that followed them. And I'm sorry, but she has to be Megan. How do you say her last name?
It's Rapinoe.
Rapinoe. Megan Rapinoe has to be a trailblazer for future women, and she wants her cut. And that's just not. She's trying. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Where's the money? Where's the money coming from? Where? They lost to a team of 15-year-olds by 3 goals. The women's team
But yes, while that may be true,
they're the best there was. They're the best there ever was, and they still lost to 15-year-old boys. Right? I'm not knocking them because I just think it's.
They're not fielding a full team of all their starters. They're fielding like. Half of their team was probably girls of the same age.
Half of the other team had facial hair like yours, and they were crushing it.
Okay, most 16-year-olds don't have a beard.
I think they have their philellums or whatever. What's that part you told me about?
The full what?
The philellums or whatever. It was the part right directly under your nose.
Oh, phloem.
Phloem.
Whatever.
I just like we're not. I don't think we're off base for. I'm not off base. You're not off base. For saying that.
But here's the thing. It's perceived as being off base, and I can relate to it because I'm the youngest of four, and I have three older sisters that were all very athletic, or all extremely athletic for women.
Yeah.
And see, even that sounds like, oh, women can be athletic. They were very athletic for women. They played soccer at some of the highest levels before college. And unfortunately, they don't have the same beliefs as me. However, I have met women that have played at the highest level as me and agree with many of the realistic aspects of women versus men's soccer. However, they still are advocates for getting some sort of higher compensation and pay.
Yeah.
But
they go straight to equal instead of higher, right? It's like, hey, we are. It's I think both parties stated their points in inarticulate ways. I thought that Draymond said that. I mean, not as inarticulate as us, but up there. You know, like Draymond was like, you guys didn't. You know, you don't do anything to advocate for yourselves. Not true. And then what did she say again?
What Megan said?
That they wanted more. They wanted more money or equal money. It's like, no, you want more. You want your sport to grow so that in turn your pay grows. That's what you need to ask for is more attention, more faith, more growth. Not, and then the other part follows. You don't just like the owners can't keep all of it. There's collective bargaining agreements and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. It's just not going to happen unless there's like a streaming service or something that they get a cut or there's ownership that some of the players now can be owners of teams, or partial owners or minority owners or whatever of teams in the women's soccer league. And here's where I might really agree with something that maybe she's thinking too. We as a society that, you know, has girls that become women, you know, that usually happens. That they need more options for role models and stuff, and women's soccer players and owners of those teams and coaches and stuff can be really good role models. So therefore, it's ideal if this league or another league that competes with it doesn't fail. But there's a difference between not allowing it to fail or fold and paying everyone at an exorbitant amount of money when, I'm sorry, but our teachers, our nurses, our fucking people that work with the youth in other capacities, the people that work with the youths in other capacity, they should be at the front of the line for more money. I'm sorry, fuck you. It's like,
I'm sorry. I think teachers and people within like the youth development sector, but I think teachers first and foremost, they should and we could do a whole other episode about this.
Yeah.
Knowing someone on a personal level that's a teacher and seeing what they go through and what they have to contribute, they get absolutely shafted for the amount of work they put in. And it's not like it's a construction worker that breaks their back over day and night to do, or like all day long for long periods of time to get a job done, that doesn't have a degree and has to settle for that. These people went to college, got
grad
degrees,
school most of the time, yeah.
Grad school, work
a lot
hard,
of the time, yeah.
Get out of school, and then they end up making like $45,000 a year.
They have to marry guys too that are slightly better than us to like make a system work.
Yeah,
like, you know, that's taking a fucking bullet, really, if you think about it. I mean, we're brimming with potential, but the actual what?
But some of them have to settle for guys like us.
I know, right? They don't have to, but just so it's like you're in a one income family.
Yeah.
If you put our incomes with their income, it's almost a one income family in this area. Yeah, I don't.
I'll take a one income family.
Barely.
I'll be a one income man.
I'm a one income man. Yeah, but I just
late nights at the bowling stand. I see kids coming by me.
Did you say the bowling stand or the boner stand?
No, here comes the jingle. Oh, I'm a one lonely man working at a bowling stand late night in town. Kids ask me all the time when they're around, "Do you sell weed, sir?" Nah, I sell brown. Brown is heroin. That's code for me. I like to get high and do Lucy. Lucy is acid, and acid is fun. Come on, kids. Let's put them on our tongue.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Silly raps are coming back.
Silly raps is coming back, but you know what's never coming back?
Sif herpes, because you only get it once.
Oh. A World Cup appearance for the men's team. 2026 though. 2026 they have to be part of it. That's pathetic.
The thing. They can still qualify for 2022. It's the Olympic team that didn't qualify.
Oh, I know. But so, and you know what? To be honest, like the women's team is simultaneously helped by that and hurt by that, because they're helped by it in that the focus is on them instead of what the men are doing, and
exactly.
or even because on some level it's still more focused on what the men are not doing versus what the women are doing. But then also, like, because the men aren't excelling, in fact, they're falling on their face routinely despite having a country with 330 million people or something. And we can't field a fucking top 16 team every year, every World Cup. That's fucking terrible. That's terrible.
No, but here's that issue. We could bring up another whole episode with that. But that issue completely is intrinsic and comes down to the fact of the grassroots system.
Yeah. I know.
To field a team at
you have to convince them not to play better sports.
They're not better.
Kids want to play the sport that they see their idols playing, or maybe their uncles or dads or brothers playing, their sisters or their moms.
And I agree. And I think then on that point, countries that are good at certain sports, it's because those countries took a strong root in the country at a certain point in time, and it grew from that. So it's going to be an uphill battle in trying to revamp soccer to a point that you're going to be drawing in huge amounts of kids. But instead, what you can do is take the system you already have and improve certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
The retaining of players in the United States system, as opposed to fucking letting these younger kids get scouted out to European systems and academies, which argumentably are better. So I can't blame the kids. If you want to be better at soccer and have a career in soccer.
Oh yeah, I'd get the fuck out. Yeah, I mean, if you're a prodigy, why would you stay in the United States?
And not even if you're a prodigy. If you want to have a shot, like there's kids that are like decent and then like eclipse the decent level and are like have a newfound like, oh man, I could be really good at this, and they're trying to get better.
Yeah.
If they have the shot sometimes to get into a good system, they could develop into a great player and get scouted.
I think I could have been a D3 basketball player if I could dribble better.
Yeah, I mean, I could have. Yes, dude, absolutely. I think maybe it's starting to become more known. There's, in some cases, a small barrier of entry to be, like, applicable and attractable as a college athlete.
Yeah.
It depends on your sport, and it depends on, like, how bad you want it, but you can do it. Like.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the tenacity, the passing, the defense, sometimes the shooting, but the dribbling just not. The dribbling and the height were not there.
Yeah.
Even for a lower division, to be honest. But I could guard, like. Dude, I guard that dude that we worked with that played D2. Like his second shot is quick. Like his offensive rebounding was his best skill, and that's really hard to guard. But back to women.
back to women. I think to kind of button this one up.
Yeah, I want them to succeed. I want this women's soccer league especially. I don't really care for the WNBA. I don't really watch the NBA except for like the playoffs, and mostly only if a team I'm rooting for or against is really still in it or I'm betting on or something.
Here's a good point.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in that same vein of the comment you just made about the WNBA. I don't think there's much growth or potential for the WNBA to change its viewership and the amount they get paid in comparison to
the NBA.
However, women's soccer if out of any women's sport in the United States has the best opportunity, it's going to be a challenge. But like, I am fully with you in certain aspects on your climb to do that, but I'm going to disagree with you guys
on the streaming.
If you make,
oh, okay, all right, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were saying I was saying you, but you were saying the royal you, as in Megan Rapinoe and
yeah,
company.
I'm like with the women trying to support that like if you say stupid things or try and make stupid arguments, you should be shot down. Like, don't try and make outlandish claims and like vie for support in like
or blame other people for. I mean, so whatever set off Draymond. I mean, it doesn't take much to set that dude off, but like there had to have been something that was done or said that made him like remark on that, even in his. You know, his impulse control, again, isn't stellar. But let's not pretend like this other person is this, like, completely innocent babe in the woods in this issue. She's obviously stumped for higher pay or equal pay. Not just higher pay, but equal pay. And, like, I understand equal pay for the men's team, but it's as the men's team, especially if you're going farther in your tournament. But that's just because other countries don't give women freedom. So that's why the gap is so large. That we'd probably still win because we're further ahead, maybe athletically or just time-wise. But, like, honestly, I don't think American exceptionalism applies to soccer because the men would prove that it doesn't. And so I think we just are further ahead despite having a ways to go and having women feeling by and large like not that they have a seat at the table, but they're at the other side of the table at the other head of the table looking at each other like, okay, all right. They're both nodding their heads and they're looking like, okay. They see the spoils before them. Like that hasn't happened yet. And that needs to happen. But it has to be done on a realistic, like in a realistic timeline where everyone has more of a buy-in, right?
And
streaming service. Bumble CEO will tag her. I don't remember what her name is, but she's created Bumble, and she could fucking do a lot of good work with this. Like, honest, I really feel that way. I really feel that if you had a streaming service that had like short documentaries, cater on sports, and like people and like authors, entertainers, things like scientists and stuff, like have a fucking female-oriented, like have kids programming, like a female-oriented Mr. Rogers, but with a woman, and you know things like that. Like then, but you know the reason it has to be a streaming service is because people aren't going to advertise for women's sports.
It's a hell of a lot easier to advertise online than it is.
Well, or some cable, but
Can I wind back the topic right quick?
Yes.
To wanted to point out that I just thought of Draymond. So Draymond, part of men's basketball in the United States, is being vocal and being outspoken, like is crossing over to the women's side of a sport that he's not involved in. So it's because why doesn't he go after the WNBA and the women's national team,
right,
and say that they shouldn't be arguing for equal pay? It's one, because the women's NBA team isn't as vocal about it, and two, there's no point for the men's soccer team to be going after the women's soccer team.
Yeah, because they have their heads down because they're not qualifying for World Cups, they're not qualifying for Olympics, they're fifth sport in a country that has room for five sports. It really does. It really does.
I wouldn't say they're fifth.
Hockey is definitely bigger than soccer. But not for playing, but watching, for viewing. Yes, it is.
No, and not in playing. We're going off of playing. In popularity.
Playing? You talking about playing?
Because playing is where, that's where this comes from.
No, the money is the important thing, man. In this country, the money is the important thing. Hockey makes more money. It doesn't even make a lot of money, but it makes more than soccer.
If they didn't play, they wouldn't make money. So there wouldn't be money if they weren't playing. So that's why I put playing.
A lot of money from soccer comes from revenues from broadcasting games from other countries, man.
Yeah, but they're still playing.
Oh, I know. Soccer's a little cheaper than hockey. Fortunately, hockey is fucking expensive, And you wonder why, like,
sponsorship deals in hockey is huge. It's why they had the lockout. They couldn't decide on the fucking airing rights.
Yeah. I mean, but it still does better than soccer. That will change, though. It will change. It's just the MLS. Americans want to watch. Ultimately, in the end of the day, at least a certain age group wants to watch Americans do it, right?
They want to watch. They want to watch football. They want to watch. I would say football.
Basketball second.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I would
baseball.
Almost put hockey. I would no. Dude, I think fewer and fewer people. Baseball's numbers have been going down.
No, look at the ratings. Hockey's still below it. It's like football is like way ahead, and then basketball, because basketball you have college basketball and NBA, and they're younger, and especially urban-oriented fans. Not urban as in like a certain what they look like from a certain place, but like urban as in like younger people in cities and older people that grew up like closer to cities, or like blue collar stuff that grew up watching Magic and Bird and Jordan and stuff like that, and they got into like LeBron and the other guys, and hopefully not Hard, and that guy sucks. But yeah, I told you I used to not like soccer because my neighbor, right? He was such a soccer guy. He was so a douchebag. But I changed once I finally got around to playing, and I was like, this is really fun, man. It's hard because if you don't have the ball skills, I don't think there's not really a position for you.
There is. There's ways. Yes, there is.
Yeah, but defense, you have to be able to knock the ball, control it, and pass it to someone on your team.
Yeah,
I'm talking about that level of ball skills is hard to even develop. Like to get the ball away from somebody that can actually control it. I'm just quick and I have good I just have good eyes and I'm quick.
It depends on your position. There is and it depends on the formation style, the style of player you're going to be playing on that team. But take a defender. There's a certain type of defender where all you have to be good at is staying close to your player, tackling the ball, so getting to the ball before the other player.
But you don't even have to keep it for a split second to get it to your teammate?
You can for a split second to get to a teammate, but you can practice and just focus on that one aspect.
That's I think my ceiling would have been as a midfielder. I don't think I ever would have developed the ball skills to be a striker.
And striker, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just gotta be in the right place.
I don't know, because you have better dribbling than me, and that's your second sport. Basketball, your basketball dribbling. I mean, you're more athletic, but your basketball.
It's because I have really good hand-eye coordination, and that's what dribbling is.
That's true. I just have the will, and my body is good at moving fast. And mostly it's just will and quickness.
But here's the thing.
No strength.
You can get better at dribbling and
with drills and stuff.
With your hands with drills because you have the hand-eye coordination to make good passes.
Yeah, that's true.
You just have to connect.
Now, that's hand-eye coordination? That's different than loose twitch muscle. So it's not necessarily as deeply biological. It can be improved, right? So that's a skill that can transfer over from the men's game to the women's game in soccer, especially. Basketball is just a different game. There's more going on at the same time. Oh, pause. We're pausing. I've returned and Patrice has gone off the deep end and went out to take a leak and get a Diet Coke and came back with his sack tucked back like fucking Lord of the Rings. Oh, God damn it! Silence of the Lambs.
Which character in Lord of the Rings tucks their sack?
I mean, it's probably Gollum. I'd have to say it'd be Gollum.
Legolas is totally someone told him, it was like, oh, Legolas, you should totally flip your boner into your waistband when you get it taut. And then someone was like, no, Legolas, no, you don't do that. Tuck it between your legs.
This is why they call me Strider.
And Gollum's like, and my axe stuck in my ass.
I can only my precious.
What were you saying of Lord of the Rings?
I meant to say Silence of the Lambs. You tuck your sack back. Oh God! Have you ever? So when you played, did you play like women in soccer and like crush them?
Yes, with the exception of one girl. One girl, her name was. She played on the men's team, and she played on this team growing up where we played on like rival teams, and she was good as every person on her team, if not better, and like better than everyone on my team.
Yeah, that's good.
She was really good. She was really good. I ended up playing against her for years, and then I ended up dating her and finger banging her in the passenger seat of my car when I drove her home one night.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't that work out?
It should have. We just kind of like fell apart. I went on a date with her one time when I was home for a break one college semester, and we went to Baskin Robbins, and then I finger banged her while she drove me home. So I mean, it worked out for like another time, but after that.
Well, that's the 30-second flavor if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, but it would have been great, man. We would have made super all-star soccer babies.
Yeah, no, that's why. Like, I wasn't like trying to be like, "Hey, tell me how you fucked that up." I just wanted. I was just curious how you fucked that up.
Oh no, like on a legitimate note, I don't know, man. Like we were.
Yeah, that happens. It happens when you're younger.
We got along really well. She's not like the one that got away. That's a different girl in my mind for a different reason. But she was like the best fit for me. She was really cool, really funny. She had a twin brother actually. That's
definitely the one. The brother was the one that got away.
My brother was cool, man. She was better at soccer than he was. She had a commitment to a full ride to Stanford University, which was like the #1 women's team in like.
Fuck that! It's a really good school.
And it's a really good school. And she played in the U.S. Women's National Team pool and like played for like the under 18 team a few times. And then she tore. Girls, and especially soccer, are really prone to like tearing their ACL and MCL. So after that, she recouped. Stanford dropped their scholarship, her full ride, and so she went to UVA and won a national championship there.
Suck on that, Stanford.
Yeah, suck on that, Stanford, and me, because we weren't together. So instead I just jacked off.
You were together? Oh, weren't. You said weren't?
Was
yeah.
Not.
So that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. Like,
way to give enough details that someone could find out who that was. That was real classy.
Yeah, except they don't know her name.
That's true.
Mila Djokovic.
It was fingering Mila Djokovic.
She's like, multi-pass.
Finger me, I have seen Resident Evil. Oh, what was her name in fucking Fifth Element?
Her name was, my name is Milo.
It was Milo or something, right?
Milo Texas Multipass.
Oh, yeah. That's what you were talking about. Dallas. Milo Dallas. The guy's name was Dallas, Milo right? Dallas. Multipass. Yeah, it's not going to get any better, is it?
What?
This?
Accent?
No. This. Where can they find us?
You guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Twitter, you can find us at Degenerate Nation Podcast.
That's not the I love this. I only do it so you can fuck it up.
Okay, here's what you do. We're gonna bypass this segment every time from now on. Fuck our actual handle. Just go to each of those websites and search Degenerate Nation and find the one that's actually funny.
Yeah, go follow our competition. But email me personally, Andy, subject line Andy sucks or whatever, at degeneratenation at gmail.com. Degeneratenation@gmail.com. If you have an opinion, especially on women's sports, and especially your ideas for the women's streaming, service run by the billionaire from Bumble. I think that's a fucking great idea because women supporting women. What else can women really ask for from this fucked up society? Is some support from fellow women financially or eyes on them in a positive way. Positive representation begets positive investment begets positive representation. Bam! DegenerateNation@gmail.com. And if you're like, you know what, you guys are head and shoulders above all these other shitty podcasts, why don't you go to patreon.com/DegenerateNation, look us up there, hook us up there with some money, some donation, some loose change from your car, your sticky old couch, couch, and
give us some of that moolah, baby.
Give it that money, baby. I need that money. Good night.
And wait. In closing remark.
Yeah.
And if you, by any means, can think of a better solution to the women's national soccer team receiving more funds other than doing a bikini car wash, let us know. Bye.
Bikini car wash for the men's team. How about men? How about the men until they wake the World Cup again have to do? They don't get any donations. They only have to give fundraisers wearing diapers, adult diapers.
No, they should do it in thongs.
No, diapers. Because they're fucking... If you can't make the World Cup with the size of America's resources, you're a fucking baby. Good night.